SHOKUNIN. It's a word you might not have heard before. If you haven't, pause this video, go and watch Jiro Dreams of Sushi, then come back and watch the rest of this. Got it? Okay. Shokunin is a Japanese term that doesn't have a literal English translation, but it roughly means a way of life where one dedicates themselves to the mastery of their craft. And for me, one video game developer that represents the Shokunin spirit perfectly is Genki. You might not have heard of Genki, but you probably played one of their games. For the longest time, they existed as a sort of workhorse for hire. They even helped out in titles like the HD version of Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. But what Genki are best known for, and loved for, is their racing games. From the SNES era onwards, they've worked on countless racing games, from F1 titles like Final Stretch, through to rally games on N64 like MRC here. By the way, MRC was, and remains, a fun little racing game that didn't deserve any of the poor reviews it got back in the day. These diverse racing games don't really show Genki's Shokunin spirit though. Let's take a little trip to Tokyo, after dark. The Tokyo Metropolitan Expressway, a stretch of motorways connecting the C1 Loop, the Rainbow Bridge and the Wangan Line all the way down to Yokohama. It's a fascinating tangle of roads. For a while I went through a phase of having a wee window open on my computer while I worked, with videos of dashcam footage driving gently around Tokyo's roads and highways. It's very, very relaxing, almost hypnotic. But the expressway is more than just a weird relaxation tool for perverts like me. It's home to the illegal street racing scene in Japan, and more importantly, it's an obsession at Genki. Inspired by manga series like Wangan Midnight, Genki have dedicated themselves to capturing the feeling of being part of Tokyo's nighttime racing scene with the Shotoku Battle series. They've been iterating on the formula since the SNES days. Here's Shotoku Battle 94. The SNES's Mode 7 effect makes the Shuto Expressway look a bit more like a Mario Kart ROM hack, but the mood is there. Genki wants you to feel like you're part of that community of like-minded racers on the highways of Tokyo at midnight. The PlayStation and Saturn era brought the next generation of the Shotoku Battle series. This is Wangan Dead Heat for the Saturn, a game that merges Ridge Racer style drifting on the Wangan Expressway with questionable videos where 90s Japanese ladies in 90s swimsuits act like they're impressed at your driving skills. Over on PlayStation, Shotoku Battle got a bit of credibility from the Drift King himself, appearing in the intro and bowing politely when you choose a car. The game itself actually looks pretty nice, good chunky colours and a recognisable depiction of the expressway. But it was the Dreamcast era onwards that brought Shotoku Battle to a larger audience and made the series such a cult classic. Here's Tokyo Highway Challenge, or Tokyo Extreme Racer if you're from the States, my first game in the series. This is a game with one track, a simple loop through the centre of Tokyo that you just drive around endlessly, over and over again in the dead of night. And yet it's also so addictive in a way that other racing games just can't compete with. There's a dedicated button for flashing your headlights, which starts a battle against other lonely drivers on the expressway. What follows is like a fighting game mashed with a racing game, where you and your rival get health bars that slowly deplete if you lag behind. It's such a unique system and it fills each battle with unbelievable tension. The further you fall back, the faster your health depletes, so one mistake can cost you the battle if you're not careful. Tokyo Highway Challenge 2 brought the entire Wangan network to the series for the first time. Sequels and even prequels on PS2 expanded on the plot because yes, in those games, every rival has a backstory. Who knew? Did you play Import Tuner Challenge on the Xbox 360? That game you picked up for a fiver in a bargain bucket at a game station like Mr. Moneybags himself? Well, guess what? That's a Shotoku Battle game. I never played it because my skin burns like acid rain at the merest touch of a 360 pad, but look at it, it's glorious. One important thing that I've overlooked here though, in this celebration of Genki, that quickly becomes apparent, is a trait shared by pretty much every racing game they've made. They're all a bit shite. Handling wise, I mean, they're not arcadey enough to give Ridge Racer a run for its money, or realistic enough to be a true sim. Every one of their games has this weird handling model. Look at Wangan Dead Heat again, just look at it and compare it to Daytona USA or Ridge Racer, and it's pretty clear that it's, well, awful. The reason that those Shotoku battles are so tense is because you never know if your car's going to drift effortlessly around the bends, or if it's going to thud unceremoniously like a dead weight into the sidewall. It's a real shame. Genki dedicated their lives to making their vision of a perfect racing game over and over again, and they all have terrible handling. But hold on, because honestly, it doesn't matter. they achieve what they set out to do in a weird roundabout way. You see, the Shotoku Battle series is unlike any other racing series. It's not a traditional racing game, but an experience that captures the feeling of being a car-obsessed racer, cruising the highways at night time and tuning your car bit by bit until you can challenge the kings of the nighttime road. It's a series that refers to cars by chassis numbers because that's how true car geeks refer to them, and also because they didn't have the licence for the cars for a while. It's a series that lets its creators and its players be the characters from their favourite racing manga. And the ultimate tribute to the Shokunin spirit of Genki is their final racing game, Wanga Midnight for the PS3. After years of making games inspired by the famous manga, Genki finally got a chance to let loose with the material, and they added probably the greatest racing gameplay twist ever devised. Yes, the famously clunky handling is back, but the long, straight Wangan route is made more exciting than ever by the addition of engine blowouts. The feeling of speed in Wangan Midnight is incredible. The speedline effects really give the illusion of tearing down the highway at 1,000,000 miles an hour. But don't get suckered into thinking that just driving as fast as possible won anything. If you don't keep an eye on your engine temperature, you will blow out and lose the race. It's such a good system, it means that there's always a risk in driving as fast as possible, and sometimes a slower car with better tuning will win out because it won't overheat at high speeds as quickly. And look at the car selection, the Devil Z, the Blackbird, there's even a Hachiroku you can unlock, letting you pretend that Takumi from Initial D decided to leave the mountain pass and blow off some steam in the city. Wanga Midnight on PS3 is the ultimate testament to Genki's enduring spirit. It's a game made by Shokunin for the similarly obsessed dreamers who long to race on Tokyo's highways. If you've got a PS3, get Wanga Midnight imported and dedicate some time to remembering Genki. They deserve it.